This might be the most exciting action camera I've ever reviewed.
It's called the Hover X1. And if you haven't already guessed from the name or the title of this video, this action camera can fly.
I'd like to thank Zero Zero Robotics for sending me this for the purpose of making this review. So what is this exactly, and why am I so excited? It's a fully autonomous flying selfie camera. It unfolds to reveal 4 brushless motors completely encased by a durable, flexible, lightweight cage. This protects the props and the people and things around it. The camera has a 35mm equivalent focal length, an f2.4 aperture, and a 90-degree field of view. It uses a single-axis gimbal in combination with electronic stabilization to steady the footage. Being such a simple setup means less weight and less to go wrong in a crash. It weighs just 125 grams, which is half the weight of a DJI Mini, and the battery lasts for up to 11 minutes. I recommend getting the package that comes with 2 batteries and a fast charger, as this can charge each battery in 35 minutes rather than the 55-minute onboard charger. It's designed to be as small as possible, and it really is small, fitting in the back pocket of my shorts and even these slim-fit jeans. It's also designed to be as easy to use as possible. You don't need a remote or a smartphone or a GPS signal to get airborne. There aren't any no-fly zones, and you can get it from your pocket to airborne in about 25 seconds. This simplicity and ease of use is what makes this so incredibly good. I've owned a few camera drones before, like the Parrot Bebop and 3 or 4 of the DJIs, but I rarely use them because of the setup time, the size and weight, and the various issues that grounded me, like weak GPS signal, compass calibration errors, and so on. This has none of that. Instead, it uses a combination of cameras and lasers to work out where it is, and person recognition to get a lock on the subject, and it's really, really effective. The top has 2 buttons, one for power and launch, and the other to select a mode, like zoom out, orbit, hover in place, and so on. Holding that button in for 2 seconds lets you change how far it will zoom out to, or how large a circle the orbit will be, and it speaks to let you know what you've selected.
Current mode, custom, Dolly track.
There's no need to use a smartphone app if you don't want to, aside from activating it when you first get it, of course. But if you do connect it to the app, you'll be able to change more settings. And it turns your phone into a remote control, which is useful when you want to position it somewhere and get a shot from a specific angle or do a controlled flyover. While it can take photos, for me and for most people, this is all about the video. The quality isn't going to impress anyone who owns one of the newer GoPros or DJI action cameras, but it's still good enough for YouTube and social media. The max resolution is 2.7K at 30 FPS, and you can judge for yourself if you think it looks good enough for the stuff you want to do. I find the software sharpening is just slightly too high for my tastes, and I'd love to see them make this user adjustable in the future. The types of clips you can record are broken down into modes. Orbit is one of my favorites. We also have bird's eye view for some top-down shots. We've got zoom out, and let me show you what I meant earlier when I mentioned simplicity. Once powered on, you select a mode, hold out your hand, press the launch button, and the X1 takes care of everything else. Then fly back and land on the palm of your hand. How amazing is that? There's hover mode, which acts as basically a floating tripod. It'll hover wherever you place it and just film straight ahead if you want, or you can have it lock onto yourself and track you from a fixed position. And then we have the really epic modes that totally change the game for a one-person content creator: follow mode and Dolly track. This is the mode for which the first time I used it I thought, holy sh*. I felt like I was living in Back to the Future 2. Again, the level of autonomy and simplicity are what make this feel like magic. You just press the launch button, it flies out a bit, scans you so it can recognize you, and now it will do everything it can to stay behind you wherever you go. And this makes certain shots possible that were just not possible before for a one-person creator. At least not in a package anywhere near this small, and not at a price anywhere near this low. It'll try to keep to the distance and altitude that you have it set to, but as you start to go faster, it will rise up a bit higher for safety reasons. I guess they don't want it flying into random people's windscreens and heads at 25 kilometers per hour, which is its maximum speed. The tracking is absolutely phenomenal. I continue to be amazed by how well it manages to keep a lock on me and stay with me through twists and turns, through all sorts of terrain and changing lighting conditions. Dolly track mode is basically like follow mode, but from the front. You can walk, run, skate, or ride towards it, and it'll try to keep a set distance in front of you. Just keep in mind that it is flying backwards and it can't see where it's going, so try not to crash it into anything. I find I can sort of steer it left and right just by moving my own position. Again, this is fully autonomous, it tracks amazingly well, and it's just epic.
Something that's quite unique and really impressive is the way it handles audio. It's able to record your voice while cancelling out the sound of the propellers. It's as if there's no drone there. It's really cool. It does this using the app, so you'll have to have your phone on you. I'm using a wireless lav mic to get a bit better audio. If you don't have a wireless mic, you can just talk directly into your phone like this, and it still picks it up pretty well. Without that clever piece of tech, this is what it would actually sound like. The whine of the motors would ruin your audio.
It can do 60 frames per second, which gives you half speed, but the resolution drops down to 1080p and the quality drops down quite a bit. It's still useful though to sprinkle in a bit of slow-mo to your action shots. I haven't seen the company make any claims about obstacle avoidance. It's not listed in the specs, but I've been using this heavily for the past week or two on all sorts of adventures and it's never crashed. A couple of times it brushed past some hanging leaves, but it didn't actually crash. And one time I cycled down a steep hill which went under a low bridge, and I turned around to see it auto-landing with the voice verbally scolding me for not being more careful around obstacles. I don't know exactly what happened because the video stopped recording before it got really close to the bridge, but I know it didn't crash into the bridge. And in the last couple of frames, it appears to have hit a very thin branch. So maybe the branch triggered the auto-landing, or maybe it was the fast approaching bridge. Either way, that's some clever stuff. I wanted to test this a bit more, so I went out of my way to try to make it crash into a tree. As hard as I tried, it just wouldn't. So maybe I just got really lucky every day for the past couple of weeks, and it just missed every obstacle by total fluke. Or maybe it actually does have some form of camera-based obstacle avoidance. I'm not sure. As for wind, the gyros react quickly to get it back into a level attitude. It can handle quite a lot of abuse and still keep itself together. Despite it being so small and light, it handles wind better than I was expecting. The company says it can manage winds up to 28 kilometers per hour. I took it out for a ride the day after a storm tore through my town, and according to the weather app, the wind speed was 20 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 40. And from my perspective on the bike looking back at it, it was being blown around quite a bit and self-correcting quite a lot. But looking at the footage, you could barely tell. They say the battery is good for up to 11 minutes. In my test riding a bike with follow mode, on a somewhat windy day, I got 9 minutes and 20 seconds of continuous flight before it stopped recording and landed. The flight time hasn't been a problem for me at all. I don't really have a need for recording continuous clips longer than a few minutes with this, and with 2 batteries and the fast charger in my bag, I always have a fully charged battery ready to go. The maximum altitude is 15 meters or just under 50 feet. This is because it uses a visual positioning system which needs to see the texture of the ground in order to know where it is. It's also limited in the distance it will fly from where you're standing. It can zoom out to 9 meters or about 30 feet, and in orbit mode it can do a maximum radius of 6 meters or 20 feet. Another limitation is that it can't fly over water. Again, it needs that ground texture to position itself, and water is too confusing for the sensors. It's not meant to be flown in low light. The positioning system needs adequate lighting. And you shouldn't launch it from the edge of a tall building or anything else that has a large drop in elevation. The one and only issue I've had has been with the Wi-Fi connection when downloading files to my phone. On my Pixel 5, about 60% of the time it won't connect. On my iPhone 7, it connects quickly and works every time. Everything else has been super reliable, amazingly so actually. As for my wish list, there are really only 2 things I'd like to see them change. One is with the zoom out mode. Currently it records a clip while it's going out, then stops recording and records another clip while flying back. I would much prefer it to keep recording for the whole journey without any footage missing from the middle. I'd also like to be able to turn off the musical tones while keeping the voice alerts turned on. And I wish there was a volume control for those alerts because they are quite loud.
Current mode. Zoom out.
This is an amazing piece of tech. I've been blown away by how clever it is and how easy it is to use. The tracking is outstanding, and despite only having a single-axis gimbal, the stabilization is really good. It's a fantastic tool for someone like me who makes content for multiple YouTube channels without having anyone to hold a camera for me or fly a drone. This lets a one-person content creator get shots that are pretty much impossible otherwise. Yeah, you could do it with the DJI Mini 3, and you will get better looking footage, but that's like 3 times the price, and with the remote and the whole kit it's about 5 times the size and weight of the X1. And then there's the setup time of at least several minutes before you can launch a drone, and then you have to set it up to track you, and it's just a hassle. With the X1 you just turn it on and it does the rest. Pull it out of your pocket and literally 30 seconds later, you're off down the road with this flying along, taking care of everything for you. You don't even have to remember to press record. It seems like they worked really hard to make this a properly finished and polished product before releasing it, which is so refreshing given that pretty much every action camera or drone I've bought has come with bugs and problems that take months to be resolved. I've now flown the X1 close to 100 times and it just works. I already have a lot of trust in it because it tracks and flies so reliably. I don't worry so much about it hitting anything because it's well protected by the cage, and if it does happen to hit a tree branch or something, it'll automatically land. Of course, I always want higher resolutions and frame rates, but for now 2.7K 30 on a fully autonomous flying camera, this pocketable, this reliable and this quick to deploy is just amazing to me. And to Zero Zero Robotics I say, well done. You've built something really special here, and I can't wait to see how this develops over time. If you found this useful or interesting, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.